Good afternoon, our dear viewers. Welcome to the Legal Talk podcast, Legal Aid Initiative. Must mention we're very excited to be here, and joined with us is me, Teddy Musonda. I am serving as the Chief Executive Officer of Legal Aid Initiative, and with me are so brilliant gentlemen. I'll let them introduce themselves for you, our viewers.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to our beloved viewers, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chimamwezi and I'm currently serving as the Chief Operating Officer for Legal Aid Initiative.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Kichan Katazo. I'm currently serving as the Project Manager for Legal Aid Initiative.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, just to have a brief background, we must mention that this is our first episode of the Law Talk, which is an initiative, an extension of the initiative or programs that the Legal Aid Initiative is bringing to you, our beloved audience. But sir, as Chief Operating Officer, please let our audience know what is the purpose or the synopsis of this recent initiative. Why is the diversion? Why has Legal Aid Initiative extended to a podcast?
All right, thank you very much. So the rationale is really embedded in the reason as to why we actually started operating as Legal Aid Initiative.
Okay.
So what we're just basically trying to do is simply to create an extension on how best we can reach out to people, because one of the main objectives that we have is essentially on access to information. So we want to ensure that we have a diverse way in ensuring that the public have the information that is needed for them. So we realize not everyone really has got the privilege and the opportunity to read everything that we bring out there. So part also of our stride in ensuring that we have, a good audience that also appreciates and gets to get the idea of accessing the information that we're bringing out there. We decided to actually initiate this podcast as a way of trying to just create an extension on how best we can, make our sources, make our information as well as our legal education, more accessible to the audience out there. We realize that animation is more appealing actually to the audience, especially to the audience that we're actually looking at and appealing to.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was ideally the whole purpose behind having the podcast.
Exciting. And to our audience, what incentive or what exciting things they can look forward to if they subscribe to this channel? What are they expecting? Who will they be viewing and the more?
All right. So you get the opportunity, obviously, to see some of the experts around the legal fraternity, people that had spent lots of years really digging deep into the law. You get the opportunity also as students actually to also feature and be part and parcel of this Law Talk podcast. So it's not really just about well-established and well-founded people, but also even students actually will be coming here to basically give their reflections on the law, how the law is progressing in Zambia. If anything, I must be quick to mention that on our second episode, we'll be featuring our constitutional law expert as well as lecturer, Dr. O'Brien Kaba is a lecturer at the University of Zambia, which already is a stride in ensuring that we bring information that is reliable, informed, and more importantly, contemporary for our audience to appreciate.
Yes, I am equally looking forward to that episode. So having mentioned that, this is not the only initiative or project that we are on to. So, Mr. Katazo, as projects manager of Legal Aid Initiative, can you please run us through any highlighting projects that we have done in the recent past? And besides this, is this the end? What are the future plans that people, followers of Legal Aid Initiative, can look up to?
Well, this is not the end because we have so many projects in the pipeline.
That is the beginning.
I actually wanted to say that.
Yeah. So recently we had a webinar, which was really a success, and we were giving out certificates to the participants, the people who joined our webinar. Another thing, we recently
Have we managed to give all the participants the certificates?
Not yet. Last time I checked with our Secretary General, she's still in the process. Since we had over 150.
150.
Yes, participants. So we're slowly delivering the hard copies to their doorsteps. But you, just for those who did not acquaint themselves, what was the topic of the webinar?
So the topic was actually talking about the legal and moral implications about advertising morning after pills. Yeah. Our guest was none other than Dr. Landland Banda, an expert in medical law. And during the conversation, during the webinar, we had a chance of having one of the doctors from UTH. Yeah. Yeah.
Was he the only panelist?
No. Our very own.
Dr. Zell was there as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we also had a writing competition.
Yeah. Oh, before we go to that, I would love to also recognize the presence of our good friend, Mr. Mofia Bangwe, who serves as the chairperson of the University of Lusaka chairperson. Yes, he was also the third speaker at our webinar. So just to recognize,
and he did
his presence,
submit very insightful though.
It was really insightful.
Yeah, it was really
But
insightful.
carry on with
Yeah. So we had a writing competition where we gave out the topics that we wanted people to write on. We had 3 topics. Okay. Yeah. And during our writing competition, one of the winner was Mr. Christopher. Yeah. Yeah. So we were planning on having a debate, which is on the way. The other thing, we're also planning on having a workshop. We're having a workshop. It's on the way. So we have so many projects in the pipeline. The list is endless. But what I can say is that just look out for our projects, our advertisement. Yeah, that's what I can say.
That's nice. Looking into the fact that we are strongly embedded in legal writing, we've written, how many articles have we published so far?
Quite a number. We should now be obviously now running around 20 something, close to 30 now.
Yes, I should. And what has been your best article personally that you have written under the legal initiative?
Okay.
Which one do you fond of?
The one that I'm fond of, though least talked about, and actually very, very disappointed. But anyway, hoping the public can obviously get to read more, was a case that I actually did the case review and analysis of the case of Kaleo versus Kabolic Smokeball Company. I'm particularly drawn to that article because of the investment, the time, and as well as what was really surrounding me the time I was actually doing the article. But to my surprise, anyway, I actually did another one where I was trying to compare whether or not pension benefits can be categorized as terminal benefits. Well, it is seemingly the one that the public seems to appeal to, because recently it actually featured in the Zambia Law Student Journal. Yeah, and thank you for having Harvard appreciated and thought the need to actually publish my article. So I think the Kaleo versus Kabolic Smokeball has been my best article so far.
Okay, that's nice. And which article written by another author under the initiative do you of course, I know you appreciate every article put out there.
Definitely,
but, of course, being humans, there's some maybe one or two that you are biased to.
Okay, was again the one that was written by Mwapiri. Yeah, I feel it was one where she was basically talking about the status of the LGBTQ society in Zambia vis-a-vis the constitution. I think it had the content and as well as the idea of being objective, because it was providing both the objective as well as the subjective and injecting and intertwining them together just brought out and made the article become so educative and informative. If anything, I should also be quick to mention that the SLA's president actually endorsed the very article, saying that it will actually be a good read. So It is definitely a good read.
It is. And for those who are wondering where to access our articles, so we're partnering with a website called amulufeblog.com. Yes, I'm sure the spelling is popped up on the screen. So just make sure to access our articles, the articles by Legal Aid Initiative at amulufeblog.com. Further to that, our articles are also reshared on our various social media platforms. We have LinkedIn, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, under the handle Legal Aid Initiative. So please do follow us on these various social media spaces to access our articles written by these students. Yes. I'll direct the same question to you. What article that you've read that you wrote do you find appealing?
Okay,
For me, you've written more than three.
For me, it was the review on the Charles Mambo case.
Ah.
That case brings about so many implications and significance when you talk about mediation. It's a really good judgment.
Seeing how the world is moving to alternative dispute resolutions.
Yeah,
Who delivered the judgment?
Mumba Mali.
No, not Mutuna.
It's Mutuna, but Mumba Malila
Was a part of the bench. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So when you read the case, you intend to appreciate in mediation, court annex mediation.
Yes.
Yeah. So because if you look at it, it's more silent. People don't talk about it. But it's an alternative dispute.
And the fact that they don't talk about it is really now the concern that we actually have in looking at the fact that people are so much engulfed in litigation as opposed to ADR. So them not talking about it is because they appreciate little or less, sometimes even knowing less or little about ADR. So I was actually thinking, schools should really make ADR something that should really be more resounding and prominent and significant as well. Yeah, definitely more emphasis, because such judgments, receiving such a blind eye really points to how we're not really appreciating the benefits of ADR, which is not actually good for Zambian jurisprudence.
Yes, and just looking at the so many advantages of ADR outweigh litigation.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
See, it's timeless. It's also it's less cost and all that.
And just keeping professional relationships. It is important because it is not uncommon that people in any relationship would end up having a dispute or misunderstanding, but an injection of definitely. So and ADR actually comes in to still balance up that professional relationship and keep pace.
Having a dispute shouldn't be an end of a professional relationship.
Definitely.
Yes,
that's the
true.
problem.
And
that
all those
we're
were
facing.
enlightened in the Mambo case.
But going to court, unfortunately, would obviously lead to people.
You take me to court. Imagine if
Because the implications have to be imposed on
Definitely.
someone else.
You
know,
end up
that-
going separate ways.
That's right. Imagine saying I was taken to court. And would you really laugh?
Yeah, by my
Of
employee.
course, and the embarrassment surrounding the whole court process and everything else attached to it. It's costly,
Yes.
it's strenuous, it's cumbersome, too procedural, which just makes everything become so unexplainable.
Yes, that's true. And as projects manager, just to give us a bit more insight. So our composition, those who are interested in legal aid initiative, is this a body? I must mention I'm a student at the University of Zambia, and I believe so are you, and so is he.
Yeah.
But is this only limited to students at the University of Zambia? What ways are we thinking of diversifying and tapping into other universities in terms not limited to our composition?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I must first mention that we're not only a body that is based at UNZA. We have researchers from different schools. Yeah.
Yes,
We have some from Cavendish.
Emmanuel is on
Yeah.
there.
Emmanuel. So we have different people from different universities. And the other thing is that we are planning on also having a campaign, a legal aid initiative campaign, where we'll visit these other schools to raise awareness, to make it known that it's not the UNZA thing, but it's an initiative for everyone. We want to include each and every student
That's nice.
Yeah.
And that's why, and I'm sure that will reflect in our competitions, the debate competitions,
debate competition.
and even the writing competition that was open not to several institutions.
Yeah.
And also on that wavelength, I must mention that recently, Legal Aid Initiative put out an advertisement, a call for applications to join the Legal Aid Initiative. Yes, this was an effort to ensure that students from UNILAS are also part of the team. So the application is only limited to students at the University of Lusaka. So this is a deliberate effort.
What about the year of study?
Yes, and the year of, so the qualifications for application that you must be in your second year of study at the University of Lusaka, and just do well to follow us on our LinkedIn page. Everything has been put out there, so we must mention. Yes, I must mention that this was a deliberate action to ensure that students at the University of Zambia are also part of us, because this is a dynamic organization that seeks to promote legal literacy and writing and advocacy through students in Zambia.
If anything, that actually is an answer to, because I've been receiving, a lot of traffic in my inbox.
Okay.
Students from CBU asking, from NIPA, from Lungushi, and these many other Zambia Open University, trying to find out whether or not it only considers students from the University of Zambia. So it is actually an answer to our colleagues that the board was established there because the students come from there, but we are all inclusive, and we're still coming, and we're definitely going to tap into your seasoned knowledge and initiatives, because we'll definitely come through and you get the opportunity to be part and parcel of the initiative. Just be on the lookout and make sure that you follow, and you get to also share and like the content that we're bringing out there. And I also received a question actually as I was coming for today's interview. The question was, are we only going to be doing video podcasts or also be doing audio podcasts?
Well, that's something that's in the pipeline. We decided to do a video podcast where it's somehow more interactive. You get to know the person.
Yes.
It's true. For when we invite Dr. Kaba. Some people don't know, maybe some don't know Dr. Kaba. So during the podcast, they'll have a chance of knowing him.
Yes.
Unlike an audio podcast, they'll just know Dr. Kaba is on the line. So Dr. Kaba, he is a big man in the legal fraternity. So so some people don't know him. I feel maybe non-law students or people in different areas, they don't know him. So during the video podcast, they'll have a chance of, that's the famous Dr. Kaba we hear about.
Yes.
So in with time we may with time
because the reason why they brought it up was differently because there'll be times when one is catching a drive, you're listening to the podcast, and it is essentially more or less like just balancing interests. Not everyone appeals to videos, so we're like, wouldn't it be that you guys are also considering the need to actually also have something like an audio podcast where you get to also just simply upload audios there, so that as we're having drives, more or less like radio,
Exactly. No, that's in the pipeline.
Definitely.
We'll start on Spotify. We'll start putting up a podcast.
Of course,
but for now, being it our first episode, we'll definitely do that. Yeah.
So this is also an answer to people, quite a number of people that have been asking me about.
And one thing, for those who want to join Legal Initiative, it's not a apply thing when you join. You have to show us your worth. Yeah. You have to put you to task. We need people. We don't need you come in then you're dominant. No, that you have to work. No, so when joining Legal Initiative, I must mention that we require you at least after subjecting to an interview, you provide us with an article or any writing that we see your writing skills. At the end of the day, we are trying to simplify the law for people. So we're doing it through our writings. So we have to know that, are you capable of writing? We have to see how you're expressing yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a requirement. So it's not a thing that you are from the University of Zambia, join Legal Initiative. No, there is a procedure that people have to follow. So for those that want to join us, just look out for our advertisement, as it has been mentioned, Unilas. So for the students at Unilas, so if you want to join us, be prepared to express yourself in writing. That's the only way we do it. Apart from the podcast, we express ourselves in writing. We give our views about the law in writing. So you should be capable of writing.
That's true.
That's a very important
actually
requirement.
Just stay that to what you've actually said. I think this should actually also explain then also the quality of work that we actually
Put
publish,
out
and
there,
perhaps just to really just put it out there. That hence the need for people to actually take in interest in reading what we take out there,
true.
Yeah.
because it does not only speak to how consistent we've been. Our consistency mirrors also the type of people that we have in the initiative. So we appreciate the people that we have in the initiative because we know how much they are also filled with so much excellency and more importantly, creativity in their writing skills.
Yes.
Had it not been for us just creating a higher threshold, I don't think our consistency wouldn't have been as much as it is actually is now, because so many spotlights, traffic around the issue of the work, and it's actually a pleasure, if anything, because then we are also contributing to the jurisprudence of our country, given the fact that literature is there, but not as much as it should really be accessible.
Yes.
And we're actually glad that we are now contributing to some of the things that we need on the Law Talk podcast, because it's actually good. Many of the times, actually, if you've seen, I experience this a lot when sometimes you're trying to fathom a particular topic, and so you'd go on YouTube just for purposes of simplicity to check if at all we have any from our jurisprudence.
You even put Zambia.
Yeah.
No
I thought that was the only one. You didn't specify
see,
Zambia.
And so sometimes, actually, I remember, this weakness is actually it's cross-cutting.
Yes.
My friend doing mining engineering, I found him listening to one of the videos in India, and I wasn't even understanding.
He was reading the way
how they were solving.
Yeah.
So that again explains how we're not doing so much. So
true,
it's actually good that
it's a wake up.
we are also now contributing to this, and hence just the need for people to really make it a vying thing to buy it and be able to appreciate what we're putting out there. It's important supporting local and just getting to
and look into the
to
fact
grow
that
actually
it's
how everything
students
is.
led.
Most definitely. Which is actually good.
We're
speaking
trying
how
to
much
grow
we are
the
being more ambitious.
upcoming.
Yes.
So as that gain into practice, the powerful people.
Yes, that's
especially those actually behind us. 'Cause
Yeah, true.
If you can recall the time that we entered law school, I don't think it was really this much.
It was
where
survival of the fittest.
our seniors were contributing so much to the courses that we'll be taking, because they actually had taken, but they weren't really contributing as much as we're actually doing now.
That's true. And also, you see, just to buttress on the point that you mentioned there, when we came, you remember a few years ago, first year, it was hard to find content,
Definitely.
knowledge on the websites, and look at the emphasis that there's an outcry by our lecturers saying that we rely so much on foreign precedent.
Most definitely.
Foreign principles, foreign materials. But what about Zambia? Let us exercise our local material. So what Legal Aid Initiative really is just tapping into that peripheral to make sure that students brace themselves with writing skills, research too, because we do not write things. It's not a copy and paste thing. If you read our articles, you'll speak to that fact. And also it ensures that we make information available. And I must mention that this information is so much accessible and also so much legit, to the point that there's been some, of course, seniors who are now at Ziali and the like, who have contacted us. No, actually, I benefited a lot from this article.
Not only Ziali, actually, an associate from me and company actually texted me on LinkedIn telling me to say, this is really amazing.
Yes.
There's also a recently established law firm. The managing partner actually was in America. He Hubert Fellowship, I don't know, a program that I was actually doing. He saw my article and was actually saying, this is actually good. So you can see even people already are seeing Millicent Company should that's a law firm. they were actually saying it's actually good, and they're also tapping into and appreciating.
Yes,
So
true. And
if
it
anything,
motivates
maybe
you,
being more
actually.
ambitious, actually, we should be able to say by the end of the year, maybe any of our articles at least
Yes.
should be, one of the
Authority.
points of references as an authority in the course of law.
Yes, actually, that's
In the Supreme Court, not any court of it. The Supreme
Most
Court.
definitely.
That's actually my aim, to have one article of mine, referenced in the concern,
learned author.
learned author. This,
Stevenson.
Yeah.
make sure, yeah. But anyway, it's been exciting really to have this conversation, and the Law Talk podcast is really an initiative that will cut across.
Yeah.
Messages will be brought from paper to mouth, straight into your ears. As we draw to our conclusion, just let us know what specifically, what personal projects under the initiative, and by that I mean article, are you working on? What writing are you working on that people who have probably read your article before and say, I love the way you write. So to those people, and to those who do not know, you have not yet read your writings, what writings are you currently working on?
All right, thank you very much. So I'm actually working with the constitutional law expert, Dr. Kava, where we're trying to check whether or not the parliamentary sovereignty, right?
Yes,
Parliamentary sovereignty, whether indeed theory has it that it's unchecked, so whether or not in practice it is actually unchecked, right?
Yes.
Which is actually important.
That's
because
good.
we tend
Yes.
to see some of these intricacies discussed in the case of R versus Jackson. You remember the case, right? So I'm actually working on an article with Dr. Kava, and we also get to just simply marry it with the current disposition with the laws that we have in Zambia, just so that people can also tap into the grace of the Zambian law, because it is more appealing when it has part of our own, because discussing what is there is only a message for people that side, not so much obviously
Only for academic purposes.
definitely. So it is important to also just create some sort of conglomerate of the Zambian law. I'm also actually working on some areas in ADR. Of course, this is just simply trying to promulgate the need for the area of law to also grow, and also just get the veracity that it actually needs, because lead to is actually discussed not so much, and ADR does not only subscribe to arbitration, because this is something I've actually seen, but also the different arms of ADR: mediation, court annex mediation, and negotiation, and the many others that people can actually tend to see. So those are some of the articles that are coming soon, and just be on the lookout and make sure that you are really salivating and vying for it to actually get the opportunity to read what we're going to bring out there. I'm actually excited myself. This only explains how much even those that are waiting should be excited as well.
That's true. I'll draw the same question to you.
Well, right now I'm working on looking at the legal and moral implications about surrogacy. Looking at the fact that surrogacy it's more governed with contract law principles.
Which is absurd, really.
Yeah, it's left out to the parties. Like it's the parties that govern how the contract. It's more
contractual principles.
And if you look at it, it has some implications of human rights. And I feel leaving it with contractual principles, it's a violation on human rights, because it's going to that thing that the financially stable party will oppress the other into signing into the contract.
Yes, that's true.
So left unchecked, it's going to leave a void. It's leaving more like a void in the law. So I'm trying to look at it. What are the legal implications? Should Zambia have laws that govern it? Because as it is, Zambia doesn't have. It's silent.
Do you think we should have?
Yeah, I feel we should have, because surrogacy, it's not something that's recent starting, but if you look, it's also there in the Bible. It's also there. It's something that has been there for ages.
That sounds like a topic now we are venturing into right now.
Yeah. So
but that's the only thing. Okay, no.
That's my main focus.
That's nice. Okay. Yeah. Well, I also draw the question to myself too. I think a lot of things that I'm working on. Recently I just finished an article that talks about witchcraft. It talks about whether a belief in witchcraft is a defense against criminal liability. Yeah, the lot I do not want to spoil the party in case there's somebody who maybe say no. I just want to keep the suspense running. Yes, but definitely, I'm excited for the articles that I'm working on, that I have worked on, that are yet to be published. Yes. Yeah. Well, as we run down on our time, is there anything that you would love to say? Any final thoughts that you'd love to share as capacity as the Chief Operating Officer of Legal Aid Initiative?
All right, thank you very much. Just a word of encouraging the audience to take advantage of the opportunity that Legal Aid Initiative seemingly is now providing, especially to the young lawyers, students, even those that are already in the profession, to just get to appreciate the work that we're doing, and more importantly, get to learn from what we're actually doing. Legal Aid is also open to really partnerships with people that are more interested in actually driving the agenda of making information more accessible, promulgating legal literacy, writing literacy as well, and more importantly also just the need to support where our pages where we're actually putting the information out, that is LinkedIn as well as Facebook and amloveblog.com.
Yes.
So this is actually an ardent appeal to our followers, our listeners, and those in the profession, and those actually also not in the profession, to just be able to follow and share our content so that it can actually reach a bigger audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on panel has been Teddy Musonda, Mr. Ziwa Chibabwe, and Mr. Kachana Katazo. And this is the first episode of the Law Talk Podcast Legal Aid Initiative. Looking forward to have you subscribe, watch, and share subsequent episodes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
One time.
One time.